Hey, everybody, Kristen Pelletier here. How are you? Hey, I wanted to do a quick video on how to use some of the shortcuts that are in Word that a lot of people, they've never come across this before, but what this is going to show you how to do the autocorrect, how to use the autocorrect and replace with. And so this is kind of deep into the options menu. And even if you've been working with Microsoft Office and Word, especially for years, lots of folks don't even know this exists, but I love it. I use it all the time, and it's a great time saver. So let's get into it. So what I want you to do, open up Word, or if you don't want to follow along with me, you can just watch this one. And what I'd like to do is create an autofill, if you will, for acronyms. So for example, I am in Word, I'm in a blank document right now, and I type in ACT, stands for Access Computer Training, which is my school. And if I enter or space or tab to let Word know that I am actually done, then I'm going to enter right now. Then watch what happens. How cool is that, right? In this area, I'm in the Tampa Bay area. We work with CareerSource Pasco Hernando. So CSPH, enter. CSTB, CareerSource Tampa Bay. These are the local unemployment offices here where I work with folks to get them trained, to get back to work. And so what a great time saver that is. And you may have noticed in Word when you are, typing just regular words, like the word separate is a common word I tend to spell incorrectly, seperate, when it's separate. So I'll spell it the wrong way and watch what happens. I'm going to enter, and it automatically corrects that for me. Now, there are words in the autocorrect list, there's tons of them, that as you go along automatically corrects the word if you spell it incorrectly. However, if it's something like your last name, or if it's a word like me, I tend to transpose the word computer, COMPTUER. I think my fingers are faster than my brain. So there's ways that you can have some of those words that you may spell incorrectly all the time, have it autocorrect for you. All right, let's get started. So what we're going to do, we're going to go up to the File tab. We are going to go to the Options menu. And in the Word Options menu, we are going to Proofing. And then from there, over to the right, we see this autocorrect options feature. Now, I'm going to do more videos on this, what I like to call the back office, of really customizing the things that you use in Word and how you can use it more efficiently. But every single Microsoft Office program has an options menu. So definitely once you learn to get into one of the options menu, you'll realize Excel options, PowerPoint options, you can go in there and do a lot with some of those other applications as well. So I'm going to go into autocorrect options, and right here in the autocorrect tab, you'll see this replace and with, okay? And so if I scroll down, and actually you can see right here, this is how you can do some of those emojis, right? Colon and capital 9, right, is that open paren, and that will give you a frown face. Colon and the 0, capital 0, shift 0, will give you a smiley face. So it's kind of like if you type in this is what it'll end up being, right? So if I scroll down to ACT, you can see right there, I have it to autocorrect it whenever I type in ACT, to autocorrect Access Computer Training. Now, I do realize that ACT ACT is an actual word, so I'm going to show you how to fix that too. That being said, this is where you add in your what you want to replace it with, right? So ACT, I typed in here and I said, okay, replace that with Access Computer Training, exactly the way I want it to be replaced when I type in ACT. Notice ACT is not capitalized at all. Don't even waste your time capitalizing, right? But on the with part, obviously, when I typed this in, I did type it in exactly how I would want it to replace ACT. Okay, let's do this. We can go in and we can replace, let's see, I work with CareerSource Pinellas County here in the Tampa Bay area. So CS Pin, notice that is not here in the list. So I type it in right up here and I type it in perfectly the way I want it to be replaced. Right, CareerSource Pinellas. Boy, if I just have to, and I could just do CSP or whatever works, right? As long as it's not already taken. And then I can click add, and then notice that it adds it right there. And then I click OK, and then I click OK again, and then I come here and I type in CS pin, and boom, it automatically fills that in for me. Isn't that awesome? Now, when I type in ACT, right, and enter, it changes to my company name, right? But what if I said I loved Act 3, like in the play, right? I loved Act, and as soon as I hit my space bar, look what it did. And it's like, oh, no, I didn't want that this time, right? I didn't want it to do that this time. So what you have to do is you have to backspace it all out, retype it again, and that's your way of telling Microsoft Word to say, no, this time I didn't want you to auto-correct it. Just go ahead and give me that word act. So sometimes, depending on what you put in that list, sometimes you want it, sometimes you don't. And this was one of those cases where I didn't want it to auto-correct. So that being said, when you go back to the AutoCorrect, I'm going to go back to File. I'm going to go to Options. I'm going to go to Proofing on the left side in that menu and to AutoCorrect Options. So it took me a couple of steps to get there. But in the AutoCorrect options, you have a lot of other things here too that are checked, right? So the AutoCorrect tab up here. So correct to initial capitals. Capitalize the first letter of each sentence. Capitalize the first letter of a table cell. So when you're in a table, in a cell, and you start typing, it'll automatically capitalize. So this is why a lot of those automatic things happen. This is the behind the scenes of how that happens. But you can create your own AutoCorrect features as well. Now, one of the other things I did want to show you real quick before I sign off is a lot of people are sick of seeing their last names or their street names underlined, right? So I'm just going to make up a name, Vandersloot, okay? Right, and I hit enter. Oh, really? I probably have used that before. Vanderbot. Okay, there's a good one. That might be somebody's last name. And that comes in with that red underline. That red underline means it's spelled wrong. But you know, if that was your last name, you would know you spelled it right. And so if you don't want to keep seeing that red underline, you can right click on it and you can add that to your dictionary. Now, what happens is when you do right click on it, you do get another like suggestion or a few suggestions to say, hey, you sure you spelled your name right? And you're like, yeah, no, I spelled it right. And so you can add that to the dictionary. If you add that to your dictionary, your Microsoft Office dictionary, you'll never see that name red underlined again. Now you can ignore it as well, but the next time you go to write that or type that in, it is going to be red underlined. So that's not really going to work for you, right? So it could be a street name, it could be a first name, it could be a last name, and you know that that's correct and you're just sick of seeing that red underlined. Now, I throw a little caveat in there because if you're talking about your resume, right, and you upload that and somebody opens that on their end, they're not going to see your last name in their dictionary, right? So it is going to be red underlined. And as far as a resume go, don't worry about that. That is expected. That's going to happen. It's not like the person on the other end is going to be like, whoops, they have a red underline. They spelled something wrong. They're out. They understand that is either a, like a street name or a last name or whatever. So the dictionary here is your Microsoft Office dictionary. So if you add it to the dictionary here in Word, it will be added to all of the other applications in Microsoft Office as well. So even if you type your last name in Excel or Outlook or PowerPoint, it still will not be red underlined if you add it to the dictionary. So what happens is when you type in a word, like say Microsoft Word will go out to like the English dictionary. And if it doesn't see the word there, right, if it doesn't recognize the word there, then it defaults to the Office dictionary, which is this dictionary, right? And if it still doesn't see the word there, then it will red underline. And so if there's a word you know is spelled correctly, then all you have to do is add it to the dictionary. Yay! Isn't that awesome? So a couple of autocorrect and spelling features adding to dictionary for you. Hopefully that was helpful. Do me a favor, if you like this video, go ahead and click the like button and please subscribe to our channel. We're going to be adding some great tips and tricks along the way, some time savers, and stay tuned for our macros video. That's up next. That's another great time saver. You do not have to be a coder to learn how to create macros, but in a typical office environment, a macro can be a super time saver as well. So stay tuned. Click on that video next because that's another great time saver. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Have an awesome day.